Hello, guys. Welcome to 2024. Before every new year starts, we come up with resolutions, various kinds of resolutions. Some people want to hit the gym, others want to learn a skill, others want to just be and breathe. And for us here in Farming in Africa, for the previous years, we've been inspiring fresh minds to venture into livestock farming. We've got people reaching out to say that, you know what, for this year of 2024, my resolution is to venture into livestock farming. And I want you guys to mentor us. I want you guys to take us through. And so today on this episode, we have the expert here himself, Farmer Fred, and we want him to tell us the 3 biggest mistakes to avoid when venturing into livestock farming. So please, if you are watching us and you are one of those whose resolutions this year is to venture into this profitable, inspiring business of livestock farming, this episode is for you. Please listen with rapt attention as Fred takes us through some of the 3 biggest mistakes to avoid, just so you don't lose out on your investment. Fred, welcome again.
Thank you very much, Nadia, and good to have you here at the farm.
Thank you. It's exciting to be here.
Great. So you want us to talk about mistakes. So There are a lot of mistakes that you can do as a farmer. Maybe let me first of all chip in this. Happy New Year to all of you. It's an exciting year for us that we're looking forward to what, God has for us, in stock for us as we grow and walk through the 12 months of the year. As a farmer, guys, I think sometimes we underestimate the challenges in farming. I've seen a lot of business guys, good business guys, both in the US or around the world, go into farming and they still fail. Because the challenges of farming, most of them does not have a formula. You just need to be present and be proactive and solve it as quick as it comes.
You said you need to be present.
Yes.
So you can't be an absentee farmer?
I mean, no, you're not. If you're not at the farm, then you're probably a producer. The person at the farm doing the work is the farmer. You can have money and set up a farm, but not be a farmer. The fact that you have the capital to set the money doesn't mean you're a farmer. You are not an expert. If you have money and you build a house, that doesn't make you a mason.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
so I think we underestimate what it's going to take for our farm to be successful. Yeah. And therefore, the fact that we have money or we have land, we think we are farmers, and we go and we lose our money. I think one of my goals personally is to reduce the amount of losses in farming. So many people are losing money in farming, and I think that is wrong. And it's because we've just hype it and just encourage wrong people, and people don't understand and they just go and they fail. So your topic is interesting, and but it's 3, so it's not all, but I think we can try and build it. I think number 1, which leads to what I was saying earlier, is having the right expertise at your farm. Right? And we live in a society where, even the graduates do not have the practical skills to be able to do it. But how do you get that? You can learn. I learned very hard way, very expensively, but that doesn't mean you cannot learn to, or you should repeat the same way I did. So if you're watching this video, that's great. That's the first step in that learning process for you. Because without the right expertise to handle the challenges that are going to come on a daily, hourly, seasonally basis, you are going to fail. So that expertise commitment will lead to better management of your farm. So you need that expertise in order to achieve one of the biggest factor in farming, which is management. Right? So I would say that is the biggest mistake that you want to avoid. Don't do it because you have an uncle, you have a brother, you have a cousin, who is sitting there idle, so you think you should go and manage your farm. You know, a lot of our viewers living abroad says, "Oh, I have this uncle. He's at home doing nothing." You know,
Let's occupy him.
and you invest your money into it and put it in the hands of that uncle that is not even interested in farming, doesn't even have what it takes to manage your farm for you. Because if he does and he's interested, then you can bring him to us. We can come to him and train that person for you so that you have the right skill set to manage it. Right.
Great. That brings me to what I want to ask next. When you say expertise, I like what you said, that there are people probably in the diaspora who think of their relatives back home who are not so occupied and so want to just occupy them by letting them go into the farming. And I like the fact that you said the fact that you have enough money to establish a farm doesn't make you a farmer. So with the first mistake to avoid, which is don't just have anybody at all to start the farm. You need the right expertise. Please explain to us what you mean by the right expertise and even where we can go to get that expertise. The signs to look out for, to be able to tell that this is the right source of the kind of expertise I need for my livestock farming. Please expound on this right expertise for us.
So the expertise can be categorized based on the kind of farming you're doing.
Okay.
Right? So if you are doing, let's say, crop farming, you want to find somebody who has in-depth knowledge in that specific crop. And not just knowledge from education, but also from experience.
Yeah.
Somebody who has shown successful track record of knowing what to do when things don't go the right way.
Yeah.
Right. So that kind of expertise that exists. Then there is another thing that personally is more valuable to me, is the right trait of a person. Farming is not for a lazy person. So before I even go for the expertise, I also look for hard-working traits, the honest traits, the loyal traits, all these things. You know, the proactiveness, somebody who really cares about the animals, the crops. You see a farm manager or a farm worker talking about his goat, talking about his cabbage, and it's like a human being to them. Yeah. Because they care about it.
The passion.
Exactly, right. So that is the fundamentals of the expertise. So once you establish that, then now you look for the experience and the knowledge.
Yeah.
So in our case, mostly the knowledge you have to pick from a student who had graduated from maybe an agric institution, a veterinary officer, and so on. But we all know that there is an issue with that those people mostly or majority has just the book knowledge and doesn't have the practical. Not for, their own selfish or not interest reasons, but because it doesn't really exist for them. Yeah. I am a student of, an agric background. I've done all the book knowledge, but who is employing me in a commercial farm to go and gain that years of experience? It doesn't exist. So that guy had only book knowledge, and we all know that the book knowledge is not enough, right? We here at Farming in Africa has invested a lot in both local and foreign expertise. Last year, I think somewhere in the summer, we brought somebody from South Africa, came to this farm, lived here for 3 months, paid for that person to train me, myself, my team for 3 months. That's a knowledge we have gained forever now. I think recently we also brought somebody from US, right, who was also here. We spent a lot of time with the person, somebody who had been a livestock farmer for about 40 years. That knowledge, trust me, you can't even buy it, right? But we were able to get that, and now we've added it to our collection, right? So those are the things that make somebody an expert. So what we've tried to do now is really training farm workers. As we go into 2024, we are going more into training, building more webinars, doing one-on-one training for specific farms. There are people that have invested a lot into their farm, but they don't have the right people their people don't have the knowledge, with everything that we've accumulated here, really helping them, bring them to that level where they can easily identify small issues and treat and so on and so forth. And where we need to bring in, somebody, we do that. So, yeah.
Wow. In a nutshell, then it means farming in Africa has the expertise to enable anybody out there to venture into livestock farming and set it up successfully.
Yeah, I mean, we've done it several times, and I mean, if you've been watching our videos, you've seen where we started from beginning and where we are now. Those knowledge, I mean, we've been doing this for 5 years. I don't think anybody that have sit in a school for 4 years can compare their knowledge with what we've done, right? So we are learning, we're testing, we're doing the practical aspect. So I think we are equipped enough to support as many farmers as we can. So I think the first mistake I would talk about is management, getting the right people and then achieving the management style that you want.
This is great. I like the 3 things he expounded on and the expertise. You mentioned the passion, you mentioned the experience, and you mentioned the knowledge, which we have in abundance over here. So I want to emphasize on it again that farming in Africa has one of the best expertise when it comes to livestock farming. So once again, if your resolution for this year is to set up a livestock farming, you can contact us. We have our details on all our social media platforms. Pick the number there, pick the email address there, and contact us. Let's talk. We would go right into the second biggest mistake to avoid if you want to venture into livestock farming. So please, Fred, what would that mistake be?
I think that mistake will be, the magnitude at which people start. So I understand that you want it to be worth your time.
Yeah.
But I always say this, start small but dream big. Most people that actually reach out to us have the capital to start. And when they come in and you tell them start with 5, they are like,
that's too small.
Why, dude? I can start. Why are you not talking about 30, 40, 50? Okay. And I say, yes, that's the goal. There's nothing preventing us from getting there. But I'm not saying start with 5 because I think you don't have money. I'm saying start with 5 because there is so much we need to understand. Not just even in the goat farming in general, but with your environment. Where is your land? Your soil, like your landscape, the breed that you're going to start with. Use that same time to also train and build your own workers. Okay. Use that same time to understand the climate and the season of that place. So there is so many things that money cannot buy. It's only time that will tell you, right, what you're dealing with. So you might have all the money in the world, but you know that if you're in Afram Plains, your raining pattern is different from somebody in Kumasi.
That's true,
Your soil type is different. The type of bacteria you will even be fighting with is completely different from somebody in the north.
Okay.
Right? So it's only time and seasons that will help you gain the experience. But do you want to put all your money in whilst you're learning, or do you want to test with at least small, and then as you understand it, now go all big, right? Wow. And sometimes that's, I think from ego, people start farm for so many reasons. They're like, when my friends come there, I want them to see that, yes,
they have to be impressed.
This is my farm, And I remember when we started our agro shop in Achimota, I started with one of everything, and the shop was very empty. I'll have friends who come there and they'll be like, Fred, why? Are you joking? Why is this shop empty? You call this a shop? And I was like, yes, I need to understand my customers. Right. What do people want? If I have 1 or 2 or 3 and somebody comes and buy all the 3, what does that tell me? The money I have, I go and I buy not 3 now, but I can buy maybe times 10 because I know that is a moving thing, right? But you see that I will have a product that in 1 year nobody has bought. Imagine if I have bought times 10 of that product, that money is gone.
Yeah.
So it's business, and it's the same thing that applies to farming as well. Like, you need to understand what you're dealing with.
Yes.
Who are your audience? Who are your customers?
Yes.
Right? And then once you have established that, then you can go all in. Right? So it's not just something that you do without understanding, because the challenges are real, man. And if you don't, you can recover. But if you start with 5 and it doesn't work, guess what? You've learned something. Now you start with another 5. If you're able to do better than the other 5, now it gives you confidence to go 10, to go 9. Starting poultry, we started with 300, then we went to 500, then we went to 1,000, then we grew all the way to 10,000 because we were learning, and that's what we do here. We started with 5 here, and now we're over 200. And that's the growth, because now we are confident. When we started, we didn't even know where to get medications from. So dying left and right, things that we could prevent, we didn't have the knowledge for 5 years. But now we have our medication plan, we have what we need, and we know exactly what we are doing. So any money I get, I say, let me buy 1 goat, let me buy 10 goats.
Yeah,
I'm just
more confident now
because I'm increasing.
I really, really like this point. You know, Fred said the challenges are real, and that is why he would advise that you don't start on a large scale for whatever reason. That reason was funny to impress by her. Please start small, because it would give you the room to learn, to know what to do and what not to do. Fred, please, what's the number 3 mistake to avoid for those who want to venture into livestock farming?
Yeah, I think the number 3 mistake, or more of an advice going into 2024, is let's do farming as a business. The passion is not going to get us there, because the moment you're about to start and you start approaching it like a business, you start asking the right questions, and there are some mistakes you wouldn't even do. Right? So let's look at it this way, because this is one of the common things that people do. So I want to go into livestock farming, and I have a certain budget, 20,000, 10,000, 50,000, depending on the size of land or size of farm you want to have. I think the first thing I ask myself as a business person is, if I take this 20,000 and I put it in a bank, what is my interest rate annually? If my interest rate annually is, let's say, 30% in Ghana, or you're in the US, wherever, and it's 7% or whatever, that's 7%. Save money. Money secured. Now the next question is what I'm going to put money in going to actually make me more than that? Because then there is risk aspect.
Yes, there is risk aspect.
Exactly. So if it's going to make me more than that, then where should I put it to get that more? And then now you look at, what is that business? What is the core of the business? So you look at our back here. What we have here is a pen. And this pen is built to the minimum cheapest level you can think of. Why? Because this pen does not bring me money. Right. Where my money is going to come from is from the stock. So I want to put maybe 80-90% into females, because those females are the ones going to multiply and give me back my money. If I drill water, if I bring electricity, if I build a pen, yes, they are necessities, but they've locked the money. So if I build the most fanciest pen, and I have 2 goats, and I spend 1,000 cedis on the pen, for example, and I spend 20 cedis on the goats, that goat is going to take me years to give me the 1,000 that I've invested here back.
That's true.
But if I invest 20 cedis here and 1,000 cedis on maybe 10 goats, those 10 goats will give me that 20 cedis back in no time. So where do you put your money? Right. So a lot of farmers go in, first of all, buy a big land, and they say, oh, I want to build it this way, I want it to do this. I was like, what genetics? But then you tell them, buy a goat of this price, they're like, hey, it's too expensive. I'm like, how are you going to make money if you don't focus on the right breed? you
on
know.
the right breed. We will talk about this
On
later.
the right, on the
Yes,
right breed, on the right things that you need, right? Even the people that you're working with, you don't want to incentivize them well. You don't want to pay them well. So how are you going to make sure that your core business is running properly?
That's true.
Right. So I think that is the mistake that I want people to avoid. And the best way to avoid this is by thinking of it as a business. And if you're not a businessman, then reach out to a business consultant and say, how would you approach this from a business perspective? Unless you say, you know what, I just want to do some small backyard just to feed myself and family and for therapy and stuff, you're not the person I'm talking to. You should still do that.
Thanks for the clarification.
No, have fun.
Yeah.
But I'm speaking to people that have made some money from hard work and wants to invest it and get returns on. And those are the people that I'm talking to, you know, or young people that are like, bro, I've just saved like 5K, you know, I want to do something with it. That's mother money. You don't want to lose that money. That 5K should be multiplying for you on a weekly, monthly, or quarterly or yearly basis. So you don't want to put it into something that you don't get back, you know. And I think that is a mistake that I wish all farmers will avoid going into 2024.
Wow.
Yeah.
It seems like it's been a short while, but you've really given us such an impactful message, especially for those whose vision this year is to enter into 2024. And I really like the last point. Approach it as a business. So if you're out there watching us, we've talked about the 3 biggest mistakes to avoid if you want to venture into livestock farming as a whole. And the first, Fred talked about, don't just start because you have the money, because you have the resources. That is not enough, guys. Please get the right expertise, the right know-how before you plant your money into the ground. And to get the right expertise, if you've been following us all this while, we don't have to tell you that we are experts when it comes to livestock farming. You know where to go. The contacts is over there. Please subscribe if you are new to this channel, and also hit the notification button so you never miss out on all the interesting and impactful episodes and contents we have bringing your way. Thank you, and see you in the next episode.